Good morning. Hello. We are live here this morning and it's a happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. I see Andy's already on here. Thanks for being a support system for me, Andy. Sometimes the only reason I actually do this is for you, Andy, because I know you're going to be there in the waiting room waiting for me to go live. If I wake up and I don't feel like working out, and I'm feeling tired or I'm just feeling sluggish, and I look on there and there's somebody in the waiting room, and I usually know that that's Andy. So I know that people are expecting me to get on here, and it's a great support system back and forth, y'all, with me and you. It is hopefully back and forth motivational. You motivate me, and hopefully you learn something or I motivate you when I'm on here doing all this, because it's a heck of an endeavor. And so one of the things that I was going to talk about today, and just have this sort of be a subject. And first, let me preface with the reason why I'm having this subject today is because I have not been hitting my fitness goals, because when I've been in here working out, which for the last 2 years, I've been working out here in the mornings in my little home gym, and I've been able to make a heck of a lot of progress physically in a pretty short amount of time, and so in 2 years, made really good physical progress. But now my progress is slowing down because I've been stuck here talking to you guys. And I keep talking too much and I don't get enough working out. Yeah, and Andy, I'm glad I'm getting you going too. What is it, like 9:30 in the morning over where you're at? But today's going to be a little bit different, Andy. I hope you can stick with me and participate. 8:43, I got you. So it's 8:43 in the morning. Yeah, I know your schedule is busy, Andy. It'd be fun for you to be able to work out with me in the mornings. I know it's a 2-hour difference or 3-hour difference, but be awesome to get you moving, right? I mean, I know you're mentioning shoulder problems and chiropractors and having to stretch out and those kinds of things. So yeah, it's a motivation back and forth. So I appreciate you, buddy. But what we're going to talk about today is how there are very many similarities to building physical health or physique and financial wealth and cash flow. There are a lot of similarities. There certainly are. But I was just thinking last night. I was thinking last night how there's a misconception. There's a misconception out there that we'll cover today, and that is that to build a physique or to get into better physical shape or become more healthy, it is quite a lonely endeavor. You ever notice that, y'all? To try to make a change physically, to try to start eating better, to give up alcohol, to drop bad habits, pick up good habits, start getting exercise, start working out every day, and start to live a cleaner, better lifestyle for yourself is a very lonely road. It's something that, can only be done alone inside you. It doesn't matter about the outside influence, right? People could tell you all day long you need to start eating better. You won't listen to them. People would tell you need to drop the bad habits all day long. It's bad for you. You won't do it. It is an internal thing. It's so that's why getting in shape, losing weight, starting better habits, and building a better physique, right? Say as a man, losing the beer belly, getting nicer physique. This is lonely. It's done alone, and that's certainly one of the things that makes getting back into shape difficult for people, because it's a very lonely road, and you do trudge that path alone. And it's not that way with wealth, though. I don't want people to have the correlation to think that this lonely road of losing weight or this lonely road of building a better physique as a man, the lonely road of building muscles up when you didn't have any. And, this is a lonely road, guys. Anybody ever feel that way, about losing weight, getting in health, dropping bad habits? And sometimes, guys, the friends and the family you hang out with have the same bad habits. So when you start to change and you want to get better for yourself, you don't always have a great support system around you, right? So it can be lonely, right? It can be lonely. So here's the difference, though, okay? Although we understand building a physique and building better health and getting in better shape is a lonely road, it's kind of a personal thing. That's why it's very difficult. But wealth building, I don't want people to have the misconception that wealth building is designed this way, okay? So building a better physique, losing a beer belly, getting off the alcohol, dropping drugs, doing this, doing that. We know we need to do this stuff, but it's a very lonely road, right? That's why they have AA meetings, and that's why they have all this stuff where you can actually at least get with a support group of people. But getting in better shape physically and dropping the bad habits can be a very lonely road. Building wealth does not have to be that way. So that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about today. Building wealth, guys, is a team game. Those who go about trying to build wealth and passive cash flow, maybe a real estate portfolio or whatever it is you want to do, those that go about it like changing their physique, right, which is a very lonely road, building wealth should be exactly opposite of that, okay? Teddy, 27 years clean, that's awesome, brother. That is so awesome, dude. That's a tough thing to do. And again, a lonely road, right? You probably had a bunch of friends and family at that point that were also drinkers and made it very difficult for you to kick the bad habit. That's the truth. So anything that's personal like that, guys, with dropping the bad habits, or, in my case, right? Because I'm down here trying to lift weights in the mornings, build a better physique, right? It's a long, lonely road, but wealth building can be the same way, right? We can make wealth building a long, lonely road if we try to do it all on our own. It is a team game. It is a team game. So that was just a thought I was having last night. Left all my friends behind me and made new ones. Damn right, Teddy. Yep, Andy's 15 years. I'm only like 2 years, guys. I'm only like 2 years. And I think that during that 2 years, I've had a few beers or something like that, maybe one or two drinks or whatever, here and there, So I'm freshly off of it, guys. I spent 20 years on the alcohol. So you get it, right? Like, so when you're quitting the bad habits and you're trying to pick up good habits, and if you're a guy or a gal who wants to make a change and you finally mentally decide that you're going to lose the weight, you're going to drop that beer belly, you're going to get muscles, you're going to, try to get a six pack, whatever it is, you guys, you get it. It's such a lonely road, man. It is such a lonely road. But wealth building, it doesn't have to be the same way. You see, I don't want to have people have that misconception. Wealth building is definitely better being a team game, guys. Okay? 100%. If we try to go about wealth building the way we would have to go about building our physique, which is very lonely in our own head, right? In our own head, we're not presenting anything to anybody because we don't have nothing to present. We're out there starting from scratch and just busting ass, right? Whether it's we're starting fat and overweight, we're starting weak with no muscles, we're starting whatever. It's very defeating. And we're just in this mode of mentally gonna attack that, right? But no one else around feels that way. So, it's all inside you guys. The building of the physique, the losing of the weight, the dropping of the bad habits, it's all inside of us. It's very lonely, okay? Although there's so many similarities with health and wealth. That's why I do physical and financial fitness, right? But there's so many similarities with health and wealth. But there is a big difference between the two. Building your health and your physique can be very, very lonely, and it is. But building wealth should not be thought of that way, y'all. The people that go about building wealth by themselves in that lonely mode have a slow path to success. The people who understand leverage and people who understand relationships and having people around them to help them in building wealth is the real key. So building wealth should not be a lonely road. Okay. So let's come up with like an example of this. Okay. Don't a lot of people think, and maybe it's you, but don't a lot of people think this way? I know back in my past, I thought this way. So it's not a bad way to think. It's just something that is, I guess, ingrained into us. But what I mean to say is that people think that in order to make a move in life, a move meaning, I think I heard the little yellow bus go by. I bet Dexter shows up in a second. I think I heard the little yellow bus drive by. Probably get a knock on my garage door here in a minute. Dexter will show up. But like, you get what I'm saying, guys? People think that they need to save up enough money. I need to wait. And I need to somehow save up enough money to go and make a move. Like to go and start a business, or to go and buy my first rental property, or to go and do whatever it may be, right? Do you guys feel that that's a pretty common thought process with people? I get it all the time with people in my community. I go, "When are you going to make a move?" And they go, "I'm still saving up money, man." So it's crazy, right? What's up, Poncho? Good morning, man. I bet you Dexter's about to show up and knock on my garage door. I'll bet you. I think I heard the little yellow bus go by. Oh, maybe not. I heard it go by again. But a lot of people think that they need to wait and that they need to save up a certain amount of money before they can actually make a move that could be life-changing for them. And make a move, I mean, maybe buy or own a business, to like be an entrepreneur, own a business, buy a rental property, buy a mortgage note, anything like that, guys. Do you think that a lot of people think that way? Do you think that that's a very common mindset? People think that they have got to wait to save up enough money to do blah, to make a move in life. It's very common, right? Yeah, Poncho, Dexter's picking up passengers. I didn't get to see the inside of that little yellow bus, but apparently he already has a bed in it and he's making it into like a little mini camper. That's kind of cool, man. That's a pretty cool idea. But do you guys think that that's a common mindset? That people believe they have to save up money, they have to wait and save until they have enough money to now they can make a move. They can go buy a business, start a business, buy a mortgage note, buy a rental property, whatever it may be. You think that's common misconception? It is, isn't it, Poncho? It is. Why do you think people think that way, guys? Is there a certain mindset we've been taught about money? Maybe, here's a misconception about money. How about this one? It's really hard and takes a long time to get money. There's another misconception for you. That might not be true. That might not be true. It may not be very difficult and it may not take a long time to get money. That might be sort of like some brainwashing we might have all been subject to. Yep. Yeah, Poncho. Yeah, our parents and friends and the people we surround ourselves with. Well, here's the thing. When society as a whole has the same brainwashing, when society as a whole is all subject to that brainwashing, that it takes a long time and it's very difficult to get a lot of money, then sometimes it doesn't matter whether it's your friends or your family or strangers or their families. So it's a very common, guys, misconception. I'm gonna call you Merc. I'm gonna call you Merc. But yeah, Merc, that's what we do. This is physical and financial fitness with Patrick. My name's Patrick, and I'm an investment fund manager and a full-time investor. And I was able to quit my job in 2019 and go full-time into investing. And about 2 years ago, I kicked a bunch of bad habits, was able to drop the alcohol after 20 years of pretty good alcoholism, um, and start to eat a little bit better. And I built a little garage gym here in my garage and kind of changed myself physically and went from super fat dad bod, beer belly, zero muscles to at least a little bit better where I'm at now. But I'm no fitness influencer, guys. I'm not on steroids, TRT, none of that crap. But I like to offer some value and give people motivation, whether to better themselves physically and or financially. That's just what we talk about. And we just get raw because it's unscripted, and I chat with my audience here on YouTube in the mornings about that, guys, about being better physically and about being better financially. And the misconception we're talking about, because when we compare getting in good physical shape and we compare doing what it takes to like build muscle, lose fat, and these kinds of things, it's a very lonely road, as it should be. No one else is going to lift the weights for you. No one else is going to eat the right foods for you. So it's a very internal, lonely road to get in better shape. But I want people to understand that in building wealth and building passive cash flow, it's not at all. In fact, the people that try to go it alone like that, they have a very slow, lonely road to building wealth. And that's not the way it needs to be. So I'm just giving a little bit of a parallel today, guys, so that you get in your mind that it should not take a long time. It should not be difficult. And it also shouldn't be done alone if you're trying to build wealth. Make sense? Because all of these mindset things that have triggered us, or all these bad pieces of mindset that have been programmed into us, are, number one, is that in order to make a move, man, like people said, I wish I could own my own company, or I wish I could become an investor, man. I wish I could own a rental property. I see those other people owning rental properties, and I wish I could do that. But man, it costs so much money to start a business. Man, it costs so much money to buy a mortgage note. Man, it costs so much money to buy a rental property. God, I guess I got to start saving up. This is very common, right? Very common. Let's see. Merc, you said, I love the hard work. Thank you for that. How do you defeat lust? Well, men are designed to be spreaders of the seed. But, the way I conquered it was I found the right good woman that appreciates me. Now I have lust for one lady, man. And there's just a difference of where you direct that lust, okay? Maybe hopefully that helps. Lusting after every hot gal or person, whatever that you like, is obviously not the right way to do that. But lust is also conformed into passion. Lust and passion, very similar traits. You have lust and passion for the right woman who has that same lust and passion for you, and you make a real union. And boy, it'll change your life, I'll tell you that. Woohoo! I will tell you that. Nothing better than a good supportive woman in a man's life. I will attest to that. Let me say that, buddy. Okay. Andy, I got a lust for learning, man. Yeah, you know what? And here's a funny thing, right? I think as you get older, your lust for things changes for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was 19, I might have had a lust for ladies a lot more than I do now, but when I was 19, I didn't have a lust for building wealth and a lust for passive cash flow the way I do now. So that's a that's kind of funny. That's awesome. Yeah, lust for learning, man. Here's what I'm trying to teach you guys today so that we can all maybe learn something, right? You don't have to wait and save up a bunch of money, which most of us, living paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that, people don't have a whole bunch of extra money anyways. So you're saving so slowly, if you are saving, that it'll take you forever to make a move, and maybe you never do. So that's kind of the thing that happens to people. I'm going to wait and I'm going to keep saving up a bunch of money until I have enough money saved up to where I can go do something, start a business, buy a note, buy a rental property, whatever, right? It's a misconception. Yes, nice, Poncho. So that let's just talk about that being a misconception number one. And let me switch that up, okay? Can we switch that statement up? Maybe it's not the lack of money that you have or don't have. Maybe that's not it. Maybe it's your lack of access to money. That's the problem. Just a different way to say it, a different way to think about it. It's not your lack of money that's stopping you from making a move. It's not. It's your lack of access to money that's stopping you from making the move. It's just a different way to think about it. If I go out and I buy a mortgage note or a rental property or anything else, or I go build an apartment building in Florida like we're doing right now, right? Build a 32-unit apartment building. You realize, guys, that there's definitely money needed to build a 32-unit apartment building in Florida. Don't get me wrong, okay? But there's also an extreme amount of knowledge that needs to be in place, y'all, to be able to build an apartment building from the ground up. Extreme amount of knowledge. And forget just about the knowledge. What about the execution of being able to buy land, entitle, permit the land, and build a whole apartment building, 32 units? The knowledge and the execution in that kind of a project is very extensive. And the money does need to be there, yes. But do you think every person that's going to go out in there and build a 32-unit apartment building like we are doing right now, do you think the people building these 32-unit apartment buildings around your neighborhood, when you see an apartment building go up, do you think the person that is building that apartment building was sitting around for 15, 20 years saying, one of these days, I'm going to build an apartment building. I have this vision. I'm going to gain the knowledge and the skills and know how to execute, and I'm going to be ready. I'm going to build this apartment building. But it'll only happen once I've saved up $6.5 million, because that's how much it costs to build a 32-unit apartment building where I want to build. But I'll start saving, and I'll eventually build an apartment building. It'll be awesome. When's that person going to save up $6.5 million of their own money and finally be ready to go? Do you see what I'm saying? So money's important to a deal. Money's important to a startup business. Money's important to a note investment. Money's important to a real estate investment. Money's important, certainly. But the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to execute sometimes are far more powerful than the money part. Does it make sense? So why would we sit around and wait and wait and wait and save and save and save and save and tell ourselves that what someday when I finally saved enough money, I'll finally go do something. I just want to get that out of your guys' mindset. In fact, I might say that the knowledge and the skills and the ability to execute are more valuable in this scenario than the money. And I'm sorry, Andy, I didn't see that you asked that. Andy was just asked a question. If you own a note, does the homeowner still pay the taxes and insurance on the property? Yes. The answer is yes. If you own a note, is the homeowner responsible for paying the taxes and insurance on the property? That answer is yes. The easy way to explain things sometimes to people, Andy, about the note investing business is to talk to them about it from the front end as a borrower, not from the back end like us as a note investor, because from the back end and being a note investor, people get confused already. Half the people on the planet don't even know that you can own a mortgage. So it just gets confusing to the brain. But what I may do is answer their question with a question, right? From the borrower's mindset. I say, if you own your home and you pay your mortgage every month to Wells Fargo Bank, who's in charge of keeping up on the property taxes and insurance? Wells Fargo Bank or the homeowner? And they go, yeah, of course, the homeowner. Exactly. So you guys know, as a note investor, we step into the bank's shoes. We play under the same rules as if we are Wells Fargo. So I digress. But guys, growth with your physical body, growth with your muscles, and growth as far as, losing weight, growth physically, guys, it's slow and it's done alone. That's one of the difficult parts of building your health or your physicality or your physique. The wealth building, though, guys, do you guys remember this statement? Let's see if you guys remember this old statement. Old statement once said something like this: if you want to run fast, run alone. And if you want to run far, run with others. You guys ever heard that statement before? If you want to try and run fast, run alone. If you want to run really far, run together. Anybody ever heard that? If you want to try and run fast, run alone. If you want to run really far, run together. Anybody ever heard that? I've lived it. Yes, Pancho says I've lived it. Marine Corps back in the day. Darn right. I was always happy and sad. I had both feelings about the fact that I never joined the military. I never joined the military, and I was both happy about that decision and sad about that decision. I always wanted to work for the fire department as well. I always wanted to be for the fire department. I think I might maybe even be a volunteer or something for the fire department. I always wanted to do that. Never did. I was happy and sad about that choice as well. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that, what's up, Bree? Do you guys think that access to capital beats waiting to gather enough of your own all day, every time? Good to have you back, Bree. What do you guys think? Do you hear what I'm saying? Is it calculating through the ears to the brain to you guys today? Does access to capital beat waiting to gather enough of your own every time, all day, every time? Yes or no? Get my little spotter band out so I don't damage my shoulder here, guys, on these. Support system. Okay, so. A lot of you guys know I had this shoulder injury where I tore my labrum about a little over a year ago, year and a half ago. I wasn't even able to really do bench presses for a while at all. I thought I might need surgery, but I worked lightly and I did dumbbell work and I used bands and I've done some things over the year and a half, and I think it's okay. But you know how you still guard injuries? Like, I'm still afraid of it, right? So let me make you guys an analogy. Okay? When I start doing flat bar benches, I'm very afraid because I have a hindrance right now with my shoulder. I'm afraid that when I go down in one of these reps, I'm going to tear it again and get stuck under the bar, and you guys will laugh at me and so on. But it really, really hurt, guys, when I tore my shoulder. And so I now guard it. So I may have this hindrance, guys. See, I have the setup. I have the bench. I have the bar. I have the Olympic plates. I have the motivation. I have the will. I have the execution. I know how to do bench presses. I got it all covered, guys. But at this point, I'm lacking something. I'm lacking strength in a very important place for me to accomplish this here, guys. I'm lacking strength and I'm lacking confidence in my shoulder because it had a tear, a good one, about a year and a half ago. And it still scares me, guys. It does. It's not going to prevent me from moving forward and working out what I need to work out and getting the execution done. But here's the deal. I don't have a spotter in here or anybody else. It's just me, right, by myself in my garage gym. So these things here, if you guys have ever seen these, when you put it on your arms like this and run it across your chest, what it does is when you get to the very bottom of your rep, guys, where at the very bottom of a bench press, when you're fully exposed and your arms are extended back and you're here, right in here is when you have these shoulder tears. This is just a little support, guys, the little kicker I need to be able to go ahead and get this done and execute. Because I've got the knowledge, I've got the expertise, I've got the setup, I've got the skills, I've got the equipment, I've got the space, I've got it all. Whereas some people don't have this in their garage. But I could say as an excuse, because of my shoulder, that I'm just not going to do bench presses. I could do that. It's easy to do. But instead what I did is I said, maybe if I get a little support in the one area where I need it, I can get past this hurdle and I can still continue to do bench presses. And as a matter of fact, because of that, I know that it will very much help me to improve my physique more so and faster than if I wasn't able to do bench presses. Okay? I appreciate that, Akshay. Appreciate you. Yeah, Poncho. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just a little spotter, I guess, for the bottom of your rep, okay? Yeah, good to have you back, Bree. So you guys get it? So I hope you're understanding the analogy, okay, guys? This right here, to me right now, in doing flat benches, I live in San Diego. This right here, guys, is the one little missing piece to the puzzle that would have been the make or break to prevent me from doing bench presses. Do you guys understand me sitting here in my garage gym, how ridiculous that sounds? Because, guys, I built the garage gym. I bought the equipment with the rack here. I got the Olympic bar and the plates and the bench and so here I have this thing built. It's ready to go. I have the knowledge. I have the skills. I have the get up and go. I want it. I want it bad because I want to get in better shape. I want to be more buff. I want to get more jacked, all that stuff. It's just inside me, yeah? But without this guy, I may be too guarded against my one little insecurity, my one little issue, which is my shoulder tear here. And yes, it's a concern. Just like money is a concern in any deal. But don't you think, guys, I'm pretty damn set up where this was just the last kicker? But without this, I have everything I need to do bench presses. And I still have the mindset, the mentality, and the move forward, and I want to get in better shape for myself and so on and so on. And here it is. I've got the skills. I've got the knowledge. I've got the equipment. I've got the know-how. I've got the space. I've got this. And my brain was saying to me, Yeah, but you know what? You probably shouldn't do bench presses anymore, man. My shoulder here, the one little thing that's wrong, my shoulder injury, was talking to my brain and saying, forget all this. Remember this little thing here, your little shoulder injury? So don't go doing that. That's the brain here. Now, I got this little guy to help me, to not only help me mentally, but to help me a little bit physically. And it doesn't do enough like a spotter would if I had a spotter here in the gym, like another human being, to lift the weight up for you. But what it does is, like I said, when you get down into the bottom of the rep here, where I am worried about my shoulder, my one thing I don't have that I feel confident with, whereas you guys may think the same thing. The one thing you don't have, the reason you're not confident to go out there and make a move is because you don't have the money. But maybe you have all this. Maybe you have the idea and the drive and the willingness to learn and the abilities and the setup, and you're ready to go. And here's a person that's saying, but I'm not going to make a move. I'm not going to do bench presses because I'm missing the one little thing, which is money. This thing. Isn't that ridiculous? It's crazy, right? So anywho, I digress. Yeah, Dexter. Yeah, Dexter. Hey, welcome. Dexter, I heard like an Amazon truck drive by outside of my house, and I literally said, oh, there's Dexter. I heard the little yellow bus pull up, but it wasn't you, obviously. It's pretty funny. Yes, I'm golfing this weekend. I golf every Saturday morning, rain or shine. I don't have a competitive tournament playing for money this weekend, though. That could be a difference. No money play this weekend, just recreational play. And Dex, when I do chest day, like I'm doing now, which is really going to be chest and triceps and such, when I do chest day, it doesn't affect my golf swing very much. It's more so when I do pulling exercises and biceps and back and those kinds of exercises that in general will cause more difficulty with a golf swing. So today we are just going to lay down some bench presses, but we're just talking about how, like this, guys, building fitness, building a physique can be quite the lonely road. Building wealth should not be. Building wealth should not be gone about alone. It is a team effort, okay? As I was afraid to do bench presses, and by the way, I have to do the first couple reps very slowly for me not to kill myself, guys. But, okay. Quick 20 twin. All right. But quick 20 reps with 135. Wasn't going to do that, guys, until I got this little last piece. So that little last piece of the money needed to do the endeavor, start your own business, buy your first mortgage note, buy a rental property, start to change your life for the better financially. Don't let this one little missing piece that's the money stop you when you have all the rest of the setup, the mindset, the mentality, the vigor, the energy, the setup, the system, the equipment. You're ready to go, but you won't go make a move because the little thing here, the pain in your shoulder, is that you don't have enough money saved up to go do it yet. Well, don't let that stop you, guys. Get a little support. Find someone else that will believe in you that has the money. And don't wait. Life is too short to wait. Don't wait to start nitpicking at your physical health. Don't wait to start changing those bad habits. And certainly don't wait to save up enough of your own money to be able to make a move in life. There are other people out in this world with money. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that there are people out here in our communities that have 50,000, 100,000, maybe 200,000? But do you think that there's people out here in our communities that have $50,000 sitting in a savings account at Wells Fargo Bank? And do you believe that with some sort of financial intelligence that that would be their wish, that their 50,000 or their $100,000 would just be sitting in the savings account doing nothing at Wells Fargo Bank? And do you think there are people out around you in your community that have $50,000 sitting in a savings account? It's a question I have for you. Yay or nay? You just happen to think maybe perhaps there might be people that have $50,000 or $100,000 that's just sitting in a savings account and it's doing nothing for them. Do you think that that's because that's their wish? Or do you think maybe, just maybe, it may be lack of knowledge, lack of skills, ability to execute, and fear? You think that might be in there? That would make somebody just keep their money sitting in a savings account doing nothing? Do you think it's more so lack of knowledge, lack of skills, lack of the ability to execute, and maybe even fear of trying? Ah, yes. So what would a person like that has 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, that's sitting in a savings account over there at Wells Fargo, who do you think would be a good partner or matchup for them, somebody to meet in life? Do you think maybe, just maybe, it might be somebody that has the knowledge, the skills, the ability to execute in an endeavor, maybe like a house flip, a note purchase, a rental, whatever. But they might have a really good time in life to be able to meet some other human being that has the knowledge and the skills and the ability to execute because they have the money. And sometimes, guys, unlike weightlifting here, unlike getting your ass in better physical shape, which is a lonely ass road, building wealth is certainly not to be treated as such. NJ, yeah, all the rich white folks that live around here, NJ, that's funny. Your husband's old boss, yeah, it would be fear of doing something. And yes, Sent My Own Way said, all the money sitting in a savings account is being devoured. Yeah, it's called invisible theft. Invisible theft. It means that someone puts $50,000 into a checking or savings account. And of course, 6 months or a year, 2 years later, it still is $50,000 that's sitting there in that account. So to them, they've lost nothing. But as inflation goes by year after year and the cost of goods and services increases, of course, that money continuously erodes as far as its spending power in the marketplace. So although it's the same 50 grand, it doesn't buy the same amount of stuff. So yeah, it's a good point you made. Fear of losing your wealth. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it could be fear of losing, right? And of course, fear of losing wealth means that they're unsure. Unsure means usually they're uneducated. Does that make sense? So when you may be an individual, and you might think of this, guys, if you have the knowledge, the skills, the ability to execute, and the money that are all necessary, ask yourself, what do you bring to the table? It's a good question to start asking, is it not? What piece of that puzzle do you bring to the table? If it's knowledge, skills, ability to execute, and money that are needed, what do you bring to the table? This is just a different way to think about it, guys. Rip Chuck Norris. Epic. To avoid further imbalances, I only do dumbbell chest press. Yep. It's funny because next on my list is dumbbell chest press. One of the things I did never want to do, guys, is I never wanted to use my recent shoulder injury as an excuse. As soon as we start validating our own excuses, guys, it's very difficult to make progress because it's so easy to validate our own excuses. So because of my shoulder injury, because I was validating the excuse that I would just not do flat bench presses anymore, I was going to simply just do dumbbells. But I wanted to push through that, and I didn't want to give up. And somebody turned me on to this and said, well, you don't have a spotter, right? If you had a spotter, it'd be a lot better for you, but I work out alone. So this little guy here just gave me a little extra help at the very bottom of the rep. That just turned my brain and my psyche around to say, okay, you could still do some bench presses. I don't go heavy. I don't go heavy with bench press anymore. Obviously, I don't want another shoulder tear, but I didn't want to give up on doing bench presses entirely. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to persevere. And it's the same thing, guys, what I'm saying. It's like maybe you have a business you want to start. Maybe you want to get involved in mortgage note investing. Maybe you want to start stacking some real estate. Maybe you want to do that. And you have the mindset, the vigor, the push. You're willing to get the education. You got all this, but you're saying, but I don't have any money. I don't have the money. I don't have $100,000. So I can't go do that. So you guys get it. Yeah, lateral raises as well. Very good for shoulders. Yeah, for sure. Guys, so we got dumbbell press, cable flies, dips, tricep press, and still I have to try to pack all that in. So you guys get it, guys. Access to money beats you trying to accumulate enough of your own all day long in a race every time. You guys agree with me that there's a bunch of people and for NJ, white, brown, dark people, different melatonin in their skin, melanin, but people have 50 grand, guys. People have 100 grand that's just sitting there. And it's just sitting there, not because they wish that it was just sitting there. It's because they have lack of knowledge, lack of skills, no ability to execute. Maybe they don't have the time to learn something to be confident in it. So they let their money sit in a savings account, getting eaten up by inflation, losing its value. And maybe they need someone like you that has the vigor, the energy, the time, the ability to execute so that they can get their money actually working for them in a place that they can trust versus just sitting in a savings account at Wells Fargo Bank. What do you think about that? Does it help to change your mindset, guys? That money should not be hard to get, and it also shouldn't take forever. Oh, yeah. Whew. And that's that. So I'm going to do 3 light sets of bench press, guys. I don't try to do too much bench. Sometimes God does break you down to make you stronger, Poncho. 100%. I know, Andy. I got my call in 30 minutes. That's why I got to hustle through this workout here. For sure. And I wanted to try to do more working out than talking today, so hopefully that's working. Misconception. I need to wait and I need to save up. I need to wait and I need to save up a whole bunch of money so that I can finally make a move. I need to wait and save up a bunch of money so I can finally make a move in life. Stop it. Stop it. Maybe it's the energy, the time you're willing to put into it, the knowledge, the skills, and your ability to execute that becomes your value. Yeah, exactly. If I tried to record and talk during my workout, nothing would come out because I'm actually working. Yeah, exactly. I feel you. I feel you, brother. Generally, what happens, guys, is when I sign off of the live, pretty much with you guys, I've done my warm up. When I sign off of the live, I usually crush another 30 minutes of harder workout because, yeah, you do get a little distracted and focused on the audience, and sometimes you can lose track of sticking onto your workout. That's 100% one of the problems of doing this. But I'm still down here doing it. That's the difference. Somebody's got to work out and provide value to others at the same time. Tough job. Someone's got to do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so sometimes I get out of breath in the whole nine. And I'm not here just to work out. I know, Bethany, you know that. What's up? I'm not here just to work out. If I was here just to work out, I wouldn't be wasting my time talking to you clowns. You know what I'm saying? Winning. You know what, guys? The whole point of me being on here is because I hope that I help other people start winning. That's why I'm doing this. I know I'm winning, guys. Trust me. I was able to quit my job 2019. I was able to become financially free by 2021, even through COVID. I now run a $250 million investment fund. We're building apartments in Florida, and I've done all this since I switched gears in 2018. So I think I'm winning. Thank you about the compliment on the CLS. She's an oldie but a goodie. I don't like the new body style of CLSs when they start bubbling out the wheel wells and made it look all balloony. This thing looks like a bullet. She drives like a bullet too. Yeah, I didn't like the new ones, man. The new CLSs suck, in my opinion. Excuse me, not the new ones. Like a 2026, some of the cool ones that are brand new coming out, but like for a while there, I didn't like the shape of them. And I just remembered back in the day, guys, there was San Diego Padres baseball players and San Diego Chargers football players that I used to see driving around, and they would be in those CLSs when they were brand new, the year they came out in that. And I always used to go, damn, that's a badass car. So anyways, I'm not a big car guy. Most people that know me know that. I could probably have, a $200,000 car sitting there. I just choose to not spend my cash flow or my money on that because I'm setting up my family right now. The first thing I want to do is buy land. The second thing I'm doing is funding all my life insurance and my trust for my family and buying more assets to produce cash flow and securing my infrastructure before I need any fancies for myself. CLS 550, absolutely, it is. Yep. What's up, Christian? Yeah, well, you know what? People aren't attracted to smart anymore, guys. Haven't you figured that out? That's why I get a bunch of haters on here and stuff like that, right? If I was on here showing off, if I had my $100,000 watch on while working out, which is the dumbest shit I've ever seen, but if I had my $200,000, $500,000 watch on while on here, the craziest thing about that is that I would get a whole bunch of interesting attention. You know what I mean? If I was showing off a super nice car right here and I had something parked that was a $200,000 car, all of a sudden you get the right attention, right? The thing about financial freedom, guys, is that we talk about financial freedom. A lot of the people that have the Lambo there is well over leveraged to have the Lambo. And they're busting ass just to be able to pay the monthly payments on it and then hardly have the money to fill it with gas. You know that that's the truth. That's the truth. Christian is back and it's all good. Yeah, that's right, guys. I mean, of course, if I had a Lambo there, a lot of people would, for some odd reason in today's day and age with social media and that, all of a sudden give me a lot more respect. And maybe they would think, oh, I ought to listen to this guy. But guys, I'm telling you, sometimes those are the worst people to listen to. Okay. Money, guys, is about the freedom. Okay. And money's about the freedom and not being tied down and not being a slave to the money, right? And a matter of fact, having the money be your slave and work for you. And now if somebody has all that set up and they have the right trusts in place, they have all these assets built, They have the right infrastructure, the life insurance funded. They've got their piece of land that they've wanted. They have everything. Well, if somebody's got all that built and their family's taken care of, even if they pass away right today, everything's good. And then they start to get into the Lambos and the jet boats and stuff like that. I totally agree with that. So that's where I'm headed. Yep, you live way below your means. You could be balling out way more. I feel bad for people that stretch themselves thin. But you guys understand something? Most people stretch themselves thin to impress other people that don't even care about them. That's a tough one, right? Oh, you have some land out there in South Dakota, NJ? That's pretty cool. What are we going to do with the land? What are we going to do with the land? Is it raw land? Is it nature? What is it? And if we were going to say, well, of course I could build something on that land, but I don't have enough money to do it. You know where I'm going to go with that. But yes, the money's about the freedom, y'all. And so let me ask you this. Can you attain financial freedom very quickly if you get rid of the mindset that money's hard to get? Dennis, I see. Dennis says the energy sector will be collapsing. After that is the supply chain. Financial freedom looks like a bleak future if the system collapses. Well, that's a terrible mindset, my man. Because no matter what system, no matter what calamity, no matter what's going up or what's going down, there are people who are prepared and that take advantage of this opportunity and will turn it into a wealth building exercise. So that's just mindset there, guys. Woo. That's just mindset there. Do you guys have anything that you have the knowledge, you have the skills, you have the energy, you're ready to rock and roll, whether that's open up a coffee stand, a hot dog stand, purchase a business, run a business, do a startup, buy a mortgage note, buy a rental property and start building some wealth and some cash flow for yourself. What skill, knowledge and skill do you actually have right now? But the only thing stopping you from pursuing the endeavor is that you don't have enough money. What could you go do right now, but the only thing stopping you is money? Building a home. Build a home on that land. How could we build a home? How could we build 2 homes on that land? How could we think about, okay, so here we go. Just an idea, because I don't know about your land, NJ, but here I have this piece of land. On this piece of land, it would be desirable enough for me to build a home there. I'd want to live there. Okay, that's badass. So if you'd want to live there and it's that desirable of a piece of land, would somebody else want to live there? So maybe I subdivide that land and I build 2 houses. I raise capital to build 2 houses. At the end of the 2 builds, I sell one, refinance the other, pay back my investor a return for helping me get the builds done, and then I sell one of the houses and another family lives on the other side of that property. But just a way to start thinking, guys. Not enough cash flow, which is stopping right now. Well, of course, we understand, Christian, that if we haven't put in place any type of avenues that create passive cash flow, then of course the active cash flow can stop. It can get cut off. That's the problem. Absolutely. See, Andy? That's the problem. See, here's the thing, guys. Most people, number one, most people have never thought of money this way. And oftentimes mindset and the way we think of something is what prevents us from having success somewhere. And most people don't think of money this way. Okay, most people really do think that money should be really, really difficult to get, and it should also take a really, really long time to get. Both of those things are brainwash fallacies. But Christian, what we need to do, brother, is I need to show you how to start building some passive cash flow immediately, so that at least there's some money coming in when the active income gets cut off. And we do it little by little by little. Sometimes I force myself to be in uncomfortable positions physically and literally. That's funny. Well, I always talk about stepping outside of one's comfort zone. Very smart activity to do on a consistent basis. That's funny. Ah, shit. Is there somebody sitting out there, guys, with 50 grand or 100 grand sitting in a savings account waiting for somebody like you to come along that says, hey, I have this piece of land and I'm thinking of subdividing it, building 2 houses. I'm going to live in one. I'm going to sell the other. Here's the time frames. I think I can get it done, but I need this much money. I'm willing to pay this much return on that money. Isn't there somebody out there sitting there waiting for you to come to them with your idea, with your energy, with your time, with your asset, and say, hey, the only little piece I'm missing here is the money to get it done. Do you want to be the money part? And could you make a move right away instead of waiting? Starting to get hot in here. I'm gonna open some doors, and as Andy mentioned, I do have a phone call with a potential individual that may be interested in joining our community to learn how to buy mortgage debt for passive cash flow using other people's money to build financial freedom in a few short amount of years. And at 8 o'clock Pacific time, coming up here shortly, I do have a call with that individual to see if it's something that they're interested in doing. And the same goes for you guys. You know, we do have a community. We do meet every Thursday for an hour and a half on Zoom. There's myself and my mentor, and we teach people how to buy real estate paper instead of real estate property. So I always put like the link down in the description of the video in case anybody's interested in working with us to do what we do. But in these lives, guys, I'm not selling programs. In these lives, I'm here to help you out, offer free advice, nuggets, knowledge, whatever it may be. And I come here and you have my attention for an hour, hour and a half every morning. And it's free. So. No way. Oh, I didn't. I thought you guys were just joking about Chuck Norris. What the hell's going on with you guys and Chuck Norris? That's so funny. I have my tripod here. There you go. Let's fix that. Peace out, Girl Scout. Oh, damn. I didn't think you guys were serious about that, but I suppose you guys are, saying Chuck Norris died. If that's the truth, that sucks. Chuck Norris was certainly a badass. Kickboxing champion. What a stud that guy was. It's wild, huh? Man, what a legend. Yesterday he died? Damn, that sucks, dude. Well, we're all heading there. We're all heading there. If Chuck Norris can die, guess what? That's a bummer, man. Chuck was insane. I still to this day I remember the Chuck Norris classic scene sparring Bruce Lee. Oh, intense matchup, right? Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. That'd have been a cool place to sit and have lunch, huh? Well, that's a shame. No one's getting out of here alive. No one's getting out of here alive, y'all. Yeah, what a legend. Ooh, that's heavy today. I got the right weight on there? Damn, bro. Shit. That feels kind of heavy today. That means I must have worked out my Shoulders and chest already pretty good because this doesn't usually feel that heavy. Damn. That'd be awesome. I just had to take my first loan out of my policy to get by on. Oh, damn, Christian. You took a loan from your policy to get by? Shit. Yeah, that ain't good, man. Christian, why don't you get a call with me, brother? Why don't you get on a call with me later today if you have time or something like that? Let me talk to you about your situation, see what kind of options you've got, brother. Damn, Chuck Norris. That sucks, man. Yeah, at least you had the policy to do that, right? Bethany said. Very smart decision. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it may be a different exercise than you're thinking, Midnight. I'm not doing chest flies there. I'm not doing chest presses or cable presses. That's a different exercise. So you may be thinking of a different exercise, but that is good form for that exercise. Oh, you're coming to Cali? When are you coming? When are you coming? When are you coming to Cali, Christian? Whew. I'd always like to see someone like this Midnight character come over here to my garage. Just stand next to me. We can compare physiques. We can even work out a little bit together and see how it goes. Yes, totally natural, completely. No testosterone, no steroids, no nothing. Actually, I take protein powder and I have creatine and AG1. That's really just it. My next goal is to work off this stomach. Stomach is terrible. Okay, Midnight, come over here to San Diego, my garage, and prove it there, kiddo. It's all good. I'm up for the challenge. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to get a bigger chest this year, one of my physical goals. And the last bit of this just disgusting jello right here, I'm trying to get rid of this year. So we're going to go on a diet cut here coming up for like the next 90 days. And the diet really is going to be the game changer to start showing through the six pack. So, coming to Olivehurst. I don't even know where the hell Olivehurst is. Jesus. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Looking good and healthy. No homo, bro. It's all good, bro. I'm 46 years old, you guys. So what happened to me is I had gone down the complete wrong path for like 20 years of my life. Alcohol, drugs, staying up late, didn't lift a weight, looked like shit. So I'm no fitness influencer, and I'm not trying to compare myself to the dudes who are on steroids and all of that stuff because that's an unfair comparison. But for somebody that just built a little 10-foot by 10-foot garage gym down in his garage, we call the dungeon here, and just started to get motivated to get my ass out of bed in the morning and get my ass in shape, I'd say I've done a fair job. So I appreciate those compliments, man. Yeah, stubborn belly fat. It's all diet, brother. It's all diet. You're 6'6", 300 pounds? That's a pretty big dude. That's okay, though. It doesn't mean you're strong. I know a lot of 6'6", 300-pound gumps for sure. Not to say you're one, but I do know, right? Being big sometimes is a hindrance. I just broke up with your girlfriend. Hey, there you go. Time to get jacked. Sometimes the best revenge, right? The best revenge. Some people from my past see me today and go, damn, dude. Because a lot of people my age at 46 already look like they're 60. You know what I'm saying? Ah, yes. The loud man is never the dangerous man. You're too old to be doing steroids. It's true. Oh, I fell off so big, man. Oh, I fell off so big. I was embarrassed, bro, for sure. Oh, boy. Beer belly out to 10 buck 2, and just the low energy, man. My wife just the other day, she commented, guys, and she said, even my face, you know, when you quit drinking alcohol and that, your face like thins out, even though you guys wouldn't know from my fat face, but my face, she was looking at me and said, your face even looks 10 times more healthy, which is an interesting observation from somebody, right? But yeah, dropping the alcohol was huge for me. Not saying everybody should do that or has to do that or will be able to do that. It's difficult, but kicking the alcohol was really good for me. And then what's really going to start to carve the six pack up, guys, if you want to get some abs showing and stuff, is the diet. And that's one of my biggest issues. I'm a foodie and I have a sweet tooth. So I got a 50-year-old head and a 20-year-old body. That's pretty funny. I love it. It's great. The trolls that can't troll. It's funny. That's so funny. Hey, so he said, very true, right? So here's a good one, guys. Here's a good one, right? The social pressure of alcoholism, right? So I love it. EJM said, very true. It works when we kick the liquor. I get it. But he wants to go out and meet chicks though, you know? So interesting about that, huh? Guys go out and meet chicks and alcohol has to be a very important play. Now, tell you what, just a word from a wise old man with a 50-year-old head and a 20-year-old body. When you're both drunk, things can go haywire. If you're just buying some cocktails for the girl, but you're sober the whole time. Anyways, I digress. I used to be the drunk guy with the drunk girl. Woo! Now, being sober and level-headed, and maybe the girl's a little bit buzzed on your date, might turn out better than you think. My point is, guys, I'm just kidding, but you don't have to drink is what I'm saying, guys. I can go to a party now where everybody's drinking. I don't have to drink. I have fun. I can take my wife out on a date. Don't have to drink. Still have fun. Whereas before, in all of those circumstances, going out, I had to drink. I had to drink no matter who I was with, no matter what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I hope today was helpful, you guys. I'm just saying, guys, that, yeah, you know, lifting weights and getting back in better physical shape is a lonely road, and it is done alone, right? And my point is, right, you guys get it. Nobody's going to get in the gym and lift the weights for you. If you want to change this and change this and change this, it's a lonely road, right? It can be done. You just have to concentrate on it. Now, wealth, not a lonely road, guys. Wealth is a team game. Wealth is to be built together, partnership, collaboration. And remember that oftentimes the knowledge, the skills, and the ability to execute an endeavor is more valuable than the money, although the money's got to be there to get it done too. So don't wait. Don't be one of those folks that says, I'm going to wait and save up and save up and save up and save up and save. And when I save enough money, I'll finally go and do something. Don't do that, guys. Today's the day. Get the knowledge, get the skills, get the knowledge, get the skills, and get the ability within you to go execute. And there will be people out there with money that will participate with that one little piece, okay? Poncho, 1 month sober. If you need help and you feel like digressing, call me, brother. We do not need the alcohol. That's funny, EJM. Well, I wish EJM the best of luck on his new dating ventures. And yeah, for sure. Christian, you can just call me, bro, but just call me like, you know, at like 10 o'clock Pacific time, because right now in 5 minutes, I have a call already on my calendar, and then I want to get my breakfast in and do my morning routine, guys. Congratulations on sobriety. Exactly. Guys, the alcohol is a killer, very much a killer. I could highly recommend that we all try to, you know, get rid of drinking alcohol. It's just pure poison. Although I'm one that really enjoys being buzzed, let me tell you, but there's so much bad side effects, so many bad side effects and other bad things it does to your body just to get that buzz. So try to get a buzz off of something else, guys. Switch your mentality and say, hey, if I spend money and time and have this relationship with alcohol, why am I not spending money and time and have a relationship with wealth building? Why am I not spending money and time having a relationship with building my health for the better when I'm okay spending lots of money and lots of time and having a relationship with things like alcohol, right? So interesting, guys. That's all, folks. Yeah. Alcohol kills you and your ability to perform well in business, 100%. 100%. So yeah, what a good audience today, guys. Interestingly enough, I tried to talk less and work out more, and I actually had more viewership. So what do you know? So guys, like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. You can join me 6:30 to 8 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. We do physical and financial fitness talk in here. And of course, usually I'm trying to work out and get myself in good physical shape while I'm trying to offer some value. It's what we do. You motivate me. I hope to motivate you, guys. I will bid you adieu. You have a great and wonderful weekend. Safe. Enjoy your loved ones. And we'll be right back here to do this on Monday. Rip Chuck Norris. Ciao.